This meeting to order, regular board meeting, February 17th. Can I get a roll call?
President Sterling?
Here.
Vice President Thompson?
Here.
Board Member Knight?
Present.
Board Member McKinney?
Present.
Board Member Carlson?
Here.
Board Member Johnson? Here.
And Public Recording Secretary.
Soraya Yarborough, Superintendent.
Shelley Wagner, Human Resources.
Michelle Erb, Curriculum and Instruction.
Jason Bloom, Communications, Community Relations.
Josh Rand, Business and Operations.
All right, before we go to doing the pledge of allegiance, we need to get a vote for nominating Diana Johnson for Secretary Pro Tem.
Motion. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. You're official.
Can you do yourself?
Nope, I got.
Yeah, it's coming,
yeah. I'm gonna walk over, so I have one student that's in the bathroom currently, so I'm going to take my time.
You're getting Josh's hopes up.
I was gonna say, we have a lot of people here, so there's gotta be something special.
So we're gonna now move on to the
Yeah, right? Yeah. We should move that to the front of the list.
It is my pleasure this evening to recognize students from Love Spark Elementary School here to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Valentine, our principal, to explain who we have here, why they were invited, and then also introduce a few of the staff members that are here as
Well,
well.
I have 5 of our life skills students here that have been working very hard all year long, and they've earned the opportunity to come do this. And we have 2 of their teachers, Mrs. Partee and Ms. Rice, with us, and they're here and ready to go.
Awesome.
Can everybody stand?
Yeah, did that.
Are you ready? All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, nice job.
Great job. I mean, it's a good old. What kind of flagpole is
She's been all the way up here.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Oh, I like the Awesome. All
He will one day.
I will take it.
Great job, guys.
That'll be too much.
4 years, you'll get it down before it goes.
Yeah.
It took us about 3.
I'm like, okay.
Now I turn it over. Yes, that's right. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Motion.
For agenda, yeah.
President Sterling?
Here, yes.
Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Yes.
Board Member McKinney?
Aye.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson? Aye.
Dr. Yarborough.
All right, thank you. Like to do it every meeting. The mission of the Harlem Consolidated School District, as a vital part of the community, is to help diverse learners realize their unlimited potential by providing an educational program dedicated to academic excellence and developing a strong character in a safe and respectful learning environment.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Can I get a motion to approve the board meeting minutes for January 20th, 2026, special board meeting for public hearing minutes, January 26th, 2026, and special board meeting minutes and closed session minutes for January 27th, 2026.
Motion?
Second.
Great. Vice President Thompson?
Aye.
Board Member McKnight?
Yes.
Board Member McKinney?
Yes.
Board Member Carlson?
Yes.
Board Member Johnson? President Sterling?
Yes. Ready to go?
All right. Well, we have 2 recognitions this evening, and so I'm going to get.
Back again.
Welcome back.
Come on over, right over this way. Yep, we're gonna have to kind of scrunch in a little bit. Yeah. Yep, and just kind of keep going. And yeah, that should fix that one. Keep going.
If there are any parents that want to come around this way to take pictures, that's okay
We'll
too.
get some photos.
Y'all got the number to wear black?
Well, we'll make sure we can get all the faces in there at some point.
Very
This is a
wide.
great problem to have, honestly. So it is my pleasure this evening to kind of reintroduce some coaching staff that we met at our last board meeting, but also to introduce some new faces. This is our middle school cheer team that qualified to compete at the IESA State Cheer Championship. And so we're really excited to recognize their accomplishments for the season and all the stuff that they've got going on. I'll turn over to Coach and let her talk a little bit about the season. And then, of course, the best part of it, they're going to introduce themselves, say their name and what grade they're in. I had a few out there practicing in the hallway, so I think we can pull it off, though. But Coach Starks, I'll let you talk a little bit about the season in this group, because this is a little bit different group than we saw the other night.
Okay, so we're back again. Hi. Coach Rachel, Coach Aaron. This is our Team Black. Last time you saw our Team Orange, that was our game day team. Like I said before, we did 2 teams this year, an orange team and a black team, to kind of give more opportunity for more people to enjoy cheer, train, so that hopefully with the hopes of passing them along to high school to kind of grow their program over there. Team Orange competed, and that was our game day routine, or our game day competition. And then this is our Team Black, and this is our routine, where they do more of like the music and the more elite stunts, and where you see them getting thrown in the air and all the different things. So they worked really, really hard this season. They just ended last week, so it was a pretty long season for them. Some of them have been here since the beginning of football season, which we start practicing in summer for, and then they go all the way through to we're finishing up now. So we earned 11th place out of 26 teams at IESA, which is a very tough competition. Middle school has not been back there in...
Since 2019.
Yes,
Oh,
yes.
All right.
Yep, so this was the first time going back. We're very proud of that accomplishment. We've had many girls down sick, you know, and, you know, getting hurt and things like that. Also, they will finish up their season on Saturday with our showcase, which at our showcase, our junior Huskies will all kind of compete against each other. And they will, then you'll see all of the middle school teams do their competition routines, where then high school will finish up with their competition routines that they competed with over the season. So you guys are all invited Saturday, doors open at 1 p.m. And so we'll just let them go through and kind of introduce themselves. We'll start right here.
My name is Gianna Quinn, and I'm in 6th grade.
My name is Olivia Petrie, and I'm in 6th grade.
My name is Ebony C. Higley, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Ariana Vickers, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Sophia Brock, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Bella Broderick, and I'm in 7th grade. My name is Demaya Lofton, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Taylor Lasher, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Ava Engelkes, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Madrona Butino, and I'm in 7th grade. My name is Catherine Lobo, I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Kendall Cummings, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Manaya Gatlin, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Emily Brown, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Michaela Fisher, I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Jenna Wassel, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Aaliyah Hardnett, and I'm in 8th grade.
My name is Mariah Sullivan, and I'm in 7th grade.
My name is Anaya Greenhouse, and I'm in 8th grade. My name is Olivia Slayball, and I'm in 8th grade.
I always have to laugh because it's like they do their these routines and all of this choreography and stuff like that, and like this little just introduction thing is what gets people most. So you can do all that other stuff, but nice job, thank you.
They're never this quiet.
Yeah.
Never. Not even their voices that they introduce themselves with.
Before we get a photo, and obviously, and again, congratulate you for a great season and job well done. I do want to say, again, a quick thank you to our coaches. Like, it says a lot about those two as individuals and their willingness to take on two very large teams and to really invest the energy required, and really looking at it from like a kind of a global perspective in the sense of we're looking at building our programs, right? Like we have one high school, one middle school. We could very well just pick a small group of kids and say we're going to take our top 10 or top 15, whatever it is. But they really look at this as an opportunity for kids to get connected, to be engaged in school with their peers, all that type of stuff, but also look at the long-term health of the programs. And it says a lot about those two individuals being willing to take on that additional load to really give as many individuals the opportunity as possible. So kudos to you guys. Thank you very much for So with that, we will take a photo, and so all of you that are in the back row will now be in the front row. So,
You
can just
Who's the flyers? The flyers.
And there's some shorter ones.
I'm sure you want to be on
Let's see if I get on this side again.
Yeah, you made it.
Did you get your, okay, my knee was about to go. Popping like pretzels over here. Oh my God. I don't know, she just gets so bright. Hey, looks if you want to see a cheer.
That kind of energy in a white
Thank you guys. Thank
I like these, there was the random individuals that were recycling basically everybody.
I want to stay. Nobody's
Hey, it was your comment. It was your comment that got me though. If you
The
like
pretzels popping like I'll see you when you get.
That's like waking up in the morning. Like the Rice Krispies.
There's not a lot of space to be moving the chair around.
You can throw somebody up in the air.
All right, one more. I'm going to go grab them all the way.
I mean, it's all relative. You lose 3/4.
Three of them. Consolidation. Their routines.
6. This is number 6.
All right.
Very bottom line on number 6.
So it is my pleasure now. We're going to turn and face this way.
This is Bidley.
All right. I'm excited this evening to introduce 5 students and 2 of our teachers here. These 5 students were selected to participate in the ILMEA Band and Choir Conference a couple weeks ago, right? Which is a pretty big deal in the music world. They had a chance to participate with students from across the state. And this is like a big honor because they auditioned, they're selected to be able to participate in this event. And so I'm gonna turn it over to Jeremy and Tim. They're gonna talk a little bit about these students and we'll hear from them and what they, why they were selected, what they participated in while they're at ILMEA. But I'm gonna let them talk a little bit about these individuals and a little bit about the process too, just so that board members that maybe have not heard about this before get an idea of what that takes.
Sure, yeah. I'm Tim, I'm the band director at Harlem High School, and these folks all auditioned for ILMEA District in October. They have to prepare etudes or sections of pieces and then record them, and then they send them off to be adjudicated and probably, select few in Northern Illinois get selected for district, and then the top couple on each instrument or part get the chance to then go to All-State in January, which these 5 students did. We had 1 from band, we had 3 choir this year, which is awesome, and then we had one of our students go for the Future Music Educators Seminar, which is for students who are interested in teaching music someday, and they get to do 3 days of intensive sessions discussing what it's like to be a music major and be a music educator in the future. I'll let these guys say their names and maybe what they went to All-State for, but if Jeremy, my colleague, the choir director, wants to add anything, every single one of these students, even if they didn't make it to All-State for choir, is participating in choir this year, so definitely had a lot to do.
The class was gone.
It was great. It's actually a really pretty intense process. We were actually down there talking about it with other colleagues and them as well. We really start to realize really how intense this process is, because it's not, like I said, it's not just from our area, right? The students all over the state, and only in the choirs we had 2 that were part of the All-State Honors Choir, and then one in the All-State Choir, and that's a selection of one of 200. And then one of basically 3 out of the top 400 in the state, which is just in their own parts as well. So maybe there's 20 to 25 soprano ones and 25, so it's super selective. So we are definitely extremely proud of our students. It's a grueling process. It absolutely is. They definitely stepped up and put the work in, and they were awarded very nicely.
Before we hear from each of you, can you talk a little bit about, and maybe one of you want to talk a little bit about the experience as well, but what is it like when you're down there? What types of things are you doing? Just kind of give us a little bit of a picture of what the conference is like. Well, either if you want to talk a little about that, putting you on the spot, I know. Yeah, awesome.
The experience, I've never been to anything quite like that for choir. It was it was a really good environment to be in all the time. And it was a lot of rehearsing, but it didn't wear you out, because the sound that was produced in that choir was so beautiful, and it was worth it. Every moment, every step of the way, it was worth whatever time we had to wake up to be there. And it was just really great. I'd definitely go again.
Awesome. So how many people, so you did choir. Well, actually, why don't we just do the introductions? I'm jumping all over the place. Why don't you introduce, say what you do for this week?
I'm Gabriel Coletta, and I was tenor 2 in the senior All-State Choir.
I'm Imogen Brady, and I was an alto 1 in the Honors All-State Choir.
I'm Jaden Sisam. I was trumpet 13 in the All-State Band.
I'm Sabrina Olson. I went for the Future Music Educators Seminar.
I'm Sierra Van Lake, and I was in the Honors All-State Choir.
Awesome. So when you're down there, any of you can answer. It's so how much did you, how many pieces did you perform? How much, I know that it's a lot of practicing and rehearsing. I was talking to Ms. Coletta, who's one of our teachers, and she was just talking about how amazing the talent was that was down there. But talk a little bit about like what did you have to prepare? You know, was it stuff that you did beforehand to prepare for the event, or was it all stuff that you were working on while you were down there?
Yeah, you had to prepare beforehand, and also like when you're there, our conductor gave us a lot of tips on how to like strengthen our performance. And I think we performed like five songs, and they were all very difficult, but it was still such an amazing thing to hear, and yeah.
Anything anybody else want to add? Do you want to talk a little bit about
So
your
for me, my process looked obviously like quite a bit different than everyone else's. I'm the only one that didn't perform anything while I was there. So we were doing the seminar from, it was like 8 in the morning till 11 o'clock at night. Very long days, but we did a lot of like, there was some paperwork and like some homework stuff that we had to do, but all of it kind of helped us learn like what it would look like being a music teacher and what you need to know in order to get there. So it was a lot of Q&As with college students, a lot of Q&As with current music teachers, and we really just like learned so much during that time. So
very cool, very cool. Well, HR happens to sit over here, so in a few years you're looking for a job, right? Like, no, that's awesome.
Do you have your card with you?
I get you one. Anybody? You guys want anything or?
For me, for the senior choir, it was very nice. This is my second year going. Last year I went for the Future Music Educators Seminar, and it was nice that I could apply the things that I learned at that seminar to this year's performance. We had 6 pieces for my group. One of them was a repeat from our district song, but everything else was brand new, so we had to learn that in our own time. Our director was wonderful. She is the choir director at University of Illinois, Champaign-Urbana, and it was just a very surreal experience. It was singing for probably like 10 to 12 hours a day. Lots and lots and lots of performing, but it kept us going. No matter how tired we were still engaged and focused, learning these pieces and getting these little tidbits of information on how to strengthen our voice or add a little something to the song so we could tell the story. The main theme was to tell your story, and the main theme of the pieces for my group was finding the light in everything, which was really nice, and I'm really glad that I had this experience.
Awesome. Cool. Very cool. Anything you want to add?
Yeah, sure. So for band we had 4 pieces, and for All-State, because you're in the All-State group, you're expected to somewhat be familiar with your part before going down to Peoria, and I feel like that's what ILMEA is all about. Just practice yourself, but also when you're down there, you practice with other musicians. And with the other musicians, it was really eye-opening for me because this is my first year. I'm gonna be honest, I was very, I had little interest in doing district, but I did it, and I'm so glad that I did because I thought district was fun. And then I happened to been selected for All-State, and that was just eye-opening, being able to play with the best of the best musicians all over the state. And what I really liked about All-State was, to my right, I had my friend happened to join too, and he's from Belvedere North, so that's really close. But to my left, I had someone from 5 hours down south from Peoria. So it was really cool playing with someone you're practically neighbors with, but also people that are super far, hours away from you. So I thought that was a great experience.
That's awesome.
Yeah, very cool. And I appreciate you taking the time to kind of fill us in and talk a little bit about it, because it is a big deal. Like you said, to have 5 people selected, and I've looked around at some of the other districts, and there's other kids from our area that were selected, but it's such a small few of people students, that get this honor. So, congratulations to all of you. Thank you, and congratulations to teachers as well for your support. I'm glad to hear that it was a great experience for you all. And we wish you the best in the future. I didn't ask you what grades you're all in, but if you're still here next year, hopefully you get the chance again next year.
If there's any seniors, do we know if they're going pursuing
Yes.
music? It's usually a good question you have.
Yeah, I'm sorry. What grade are you in?
I'm in 12th grade. I'm a senior and I'm pursuing music education.
All right.
Where
are you going?
I'm undecided currently.
Very good.
I am a senior and I'm also pursuing music and theater education.
Okay.
And I plan to go to ISU, but that could change, so.
Yeah. Good. So the two seniors, the rest juniors?
Junior.
Junior?
I'm a sophomore.
Sophomore.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
let's get on the calendar for next year. After
Yeah.
you guys are in that spot next year, we'll have you back again. But again, congratulations to you guys. That's pretty awesome for you. So. I'm going to take a photo real quick if you don't mind. So I'll just have you kind of stay put. You might have to slide it back a little bit as well.
I'm going to make a requirement next time you bring anything with music, we either get to hear some singing or some music.
Kaleidoscope concert was like literally this week.
Mr. Toledo, did you hear what I said? You're bringing choir people, you better sing. Sing with some band.
That's more of a try.
Yeah.
Man in the mirror.
Kurt, get on the front row.
Yeah, I'll just go back. Honestly, it's fine for my toes. We're good.
1, 2, 3. Perfect. I'll move real quick.
Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
All right.
All right, thank you.
I can send it to you too, absolutely. And then I'll do the best.
Music and I'll get to music.
The Kaleidoscope concert for 2 hours, so you want.
I honestly, I'm going to tell you this. I've been to so many of them because
There was a former Ralston student there, but I figured I wouldn't mention it. No. I did have some former parents in the last group that were making me feel like,
From
feeling
fine
a
arts
little
through, right? Like,
yeah, but I had 2 books in front.
I my last in
Now we're turning it over to,
middle school
there are
choir.
0 comments from the community at the moment. And we'll go to approval of the bill.
All right, thank you very much. The total payables this period were $1,181,100.24, with void checks of $1,837.65. There were 2 payrolls this period in the amount of $7,268,502.11, for total expenditures of $8,449,602.35. Split out by fund, the education fund paid $7,316,843.41. The tort fund paid $1,785. The operations and maintenance fund paid $476,250.64. The debt service fund paid $664. The transportation fund paid $399,001.56. The IMRF Social Security Fund paid $253,296.13. The Life Safety Fund paid $1,761.61. For total expenditures again of $8,449,602.35. Are there any unanswered questions? That is it for the bills.
Motion to approve the bills.
Motion.
Second.
Board Member McKnight,
Yes.
Board Member McKinney,
Aye.
Board Member Carlson,
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye. Board President Thurman.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Carried.
All right. We'll move on to administrative reports. Dr. Michelle Earl.
Thank you. I have a few items this evening. The first are some overnight travels. 2 of them I shared with you guys at meetings before this. One was for bowling, where we did have Benjamin Dolly, who ended up taking 5th. So congratulations to Benjamin. The other was for the sectional wrestling that took place last weekend. And then the third one is part of the COLD grant through University of Illinois. That will be from March 18th through the 22nd. In Sparta, Illinois, they will be going to where they'll do some more filming. So those are 3 overnights, 2 that occurred and 1 that is coming up. The second item on my list is the calendar. So part of the collective bargaining agreement is that the union and administration come together, they put together a calendar, we take a week's worth of feedback, look at the feedback, and then determine if adjustments are going to be made. We did get more responses than we typically do with 130, and more positive than what we typically get as well, because it is always difficult as everybody looks at the calendar from their own personal perspective. One of the real positives with this calendar is that typically first semester and second semester end up being over a week off, which makes it difficult if you're a secondary teacher, high school teacher, and you teach a semester length class. They end up being pretty lopsided. This is actually only 2 days difference, which we haven't been able to accomplish in the past. Also, with graduation happening on the 23rd of May this next school year, we won't have our seniors missing a big chunk. That's another problem that we sometimes have with the calendar. Some feedback that we'd received in the past was asking us to look at local school districts and try to align a little bit better, because we're often the first ones that do it, and so we throw our dates out and then we go from there. We were able to align. We're within a day of both Hononegah and Brockford, and being 2 of our bigger districts around here. Our spring break lines perfectly with Rockford's this year, and overlaps with Hononegah's. Our winter breaks are the same, so there's no way that unless we went with a regional calendar, I'm never going to be able to match everybody's, but we were able to get some SIP days as well that align, so that gives us an opportunity to work with other districts, because sometimes it's hard for like art, music, and some of those specials to have some meaningful days. So being able to pull from other districts and setting up some collaboration time is helpful. So presenting the calendar today, and then next week we'll be asking for board approval. And then my final item for this evening is the Illinois ISBE discipline plan. So Harlem was identified in the top 20% of the state as far as exclusionary practices. What that means is that when they looked at how many out-of-school suspensions we had as a district, and they look at it as a ratio based off of our students population, we were in the top 20%. Now, when we look at that exclusionary practice, it is not how many students, it's how many days. So if a student is out for 3 days, it's known as 3 exclusionary practices. For, if they have 1 day, obviously 1 day. So Mr. Hubert met with the group of individuals that are listed in this plan, and they had to evaluate and analyze our data to see if there was any data that was out of line compared to the whole. And then also, how are we going to look at not excluding as many students? And so one of the things that we have already changed is for tardies. If they had too many tardies in a day, we were using exclusionary practices there. And so we made some adjustments last year, and we've already seen a decrease this year, but they're also evaluating when a student does something, there's a range, and adjusting the range. And so instead of having it be 10 days right away, being 7 days or 3 days, and based off of the occurrence. So, yes, sir.
Does this include in-school suspensions, or is this just
This is just out of school.
So, just an idea, and I mean, like, so if we were to adopt like Saturday school or something like that, like other districts, would that be included in these stats, or that's just out of school suspension with no supervisory?
It was just out of school suspension.
Okay.
So Yeah, and we used to have the Saturday school
Oh, I
as
hated it in
something
high
too. Which often unfortunately led to out of school, but yes, unfortunately. But yes, so Saturday school does not count in this. In-school suspension doesn't count in
Okay.
these numbers. It is just the
I
exclusion.
mean, I'm not saying we should,
Correct.
manipulate our numbers, obviously, we need to.
No, but there were some
But-
interesting things that came out. through this.
Right, right.
They brought up the middle school doing some new things where they're actually having counselors, what's counselors?
Yep, counselors are doing lessons based off of the reason, so they look at why the students are in school suspension,
Right.
and then they're coming and providing some lessons to try to find alternate ways to work through behaviors. Because our goal is obviously not to have out-of-school suspensions. We want students to be successful in their classrooms. So, yes, they are working on trying to keep them in school and constantly analyzing our data as a whole. We do that as part of our SBC meetings, but then because we're in the top 20%, Dr. Yarbrough and I have already met with the state a couple of times, and we'll have to meet a couple more to talk about they'll look at these adjustments we've made and evaluate, are they seeing a decrease or are our numbers staying steady? So right now, our administrators feel good about the changes, and we will have to monitor what happens, but we do look at the whole, and we look at each individual group too to see if there's any disproportionate from the population.
Did this have anything to do with the reporting? I remember in years past, it was for your overall referral count was incorrect because sometimes you'd be marked multiple infractions, just the way that the reporting was done?
No.
Okay, just making sure there wasn't
Yep.
anything, there was just.
Nope, I
a
pulled
paper-
all the
okay.
data for them and individually.
The way Jake Hubert even likened it, he said, one school, 40 kids get one day out of school. Us, five kids get a 10-day. The 5 kids getting a 10-day looks worse to the state than the 40 kids getting the one.
Okay.
Because they're out of school.
Because each one's an occurrence.
Yeah.
Mickey, do they do after-school detention?
Yes. They do after-school detentions, they do lunch detentions. So we try several different things to try to have students in school, first of all, in class. So we prefer detention over having to have them out for a full day, but depending on the infraction, sometimes it ends up being an in-school suspension, and out of school really is the last of what we wanted to do. And with Senate Bill 100, we have to have that spectrum of and not go right to out of school. So we really do try to do the detention and the ISS first.
Does it seem like the detention works better than out of school, or is out of school like your serious infractions?
That's usually you've had multiple, the behavior has not changed because of detention nor because of in school. And typically it means that we have moved through the matrix and we're now to an out of school.
Because some of these kids that change, stay in school and work all day or go out of school, a lot of them picked out of school.
Right.
Yep. And unfortunately, sometimes when they have the in-school, we'll do behaviors hoping to get out of school. In some cases.
But with the middle school pushing in interventionists and other stuff, that's awesome.
Yep.
Thank you.
So that ends my report.
With part of that, I'd like consensus to send, allow me to send an email to Scott Bloomquist to see if we can get the regional superintendent to talk to the other schools to help us get all the other schools aligned on the calendar.
Yes.
Yes.
All right, thank you. I will send it on your, the board's behalf. I'll probably call you later then.
You're getting a call.
Michael, are you talking statewide or countywide or?
No, regional.
Just regional.
Okay,
Just our regional.
Winnebago Boone.
All right, gotcha.
Yeah, that's it, right?
All right, and with that, Josh Ray.
All right, thank you. The first item this evening is a recommendation to approve a resolution declaring surplus property with the tech department in Harlem Middle School. Next is a
Are we
recommendation.
recycling this stuff then?
So he should be, we typically sell that to, we get different quotes from different organizations and reuse that revenue to buy more Chromebooks.
So essentially, we're gonna sell it to somebody, they're gonna recycle it, profit off of it. Okay.
Yeah, that's generally what we do. I can confirm that with
No,
you.
I'm okay with that.
He's pretty good at selling our used stuff.
I'm tired of it. Bring in money for broken stuff. I'm in.
1,400 Chromebooks.
Yeah, right.
Next is a recommendation to accept the December 2025 Treasurers Report. At Wednesday's Committee of the Whole, we reviewed the highlights of the December Treasury Report. Are there any final questions on that? Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Legends Global for a rental of VMO Harris Bank Center on Saturday, May 23rd, 2026 for graduation ceremonies.
Heck yeah.
Same as last year?
Yep.
All right.
10B4 is a recommendation to renew auditing services contract with Sikich at a cost for FY26 of $44,250, FY27 $45,500, and FY28 $46,750. Excuse me. Are there any questions on that renewal?
You're just raising it $750 a year.
It's 3%, 2.82, and the 2.75. So.
Okay. Which is, if I'm looking at, it looks like $750.
Yeah. But I was figuring anything under 3% or under is pretty reasonable with what we see typically.
Until CBI comes in.
We're good with that?
Yep.
All right. 10B5 is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Aya Healthcare, Inc. to provide a speech and language pathologist for a short-term FMLA leave at a cost of $100 per hour at 37.5 hours per week for a total cost of $48,750. Paid with IDEA flow-through Part B funds, and there is a memo from Director Heidi Lang about this service attached. Are there any questions on that one? Because I have another one. Next is a recommendation to approve an agreement with Sunbelt LLC to provide a speech and language pathologist for another short-term FMLA leave at a cost of $112 per hour at 37.5 hours per week for a total cost of $54,600, paid again with IDEA flow through Part B.
Why is one more expensive?
It's whatever's available that she can get. She does.
I figured that was probably asked in committee of the whole, and
There was.
I'm glad everybody.
Two different companies.
Okay, I'm glad just.
You're good.
We read.
10B7 is a recommendation to approve a subscription for 300 FastBridge licenses and professional development for a cost of $2,355 paid with School Improvement 1003A funds. Any questions on that? 10B8 is a recommendation to approve 4 days of coaching for Into Reading coaching for a cost of $15,120 and 4 days of coaching for Ready Math coaching for a cost of $9,600 for a total cost of $24,720. Also paid with School Improvement 1003A funds. These all relate to the attachment that Jake Hubert attached with his explanation on there. And the third part of that is a recommendation to approve a purchase of Wilson Just Words program for $21,861, paid again with School Improvement 1003A funds.
Did Jake tell us what grade levels those were going to, or what schools, or I had forgotten?
Middle school and Rock Cut were the ones that received those additional funds.
I knew they were in there somewhere. Thank you.
Are there any other questions about those last three?
Not this time.
And that was my report this evening.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Sutherland.
Good evening. Tonight I have the recommendation for the personnel agenda and addendum. We have 4 transfers this evening, 1 leave of absence, 8 employments, and 20 resignations. That's it for me.
Thank you. Dr. Sutherland.
All right, thank you, President Sterling. I have here 5 Freedom of Information Act requests. I want to thank the team that's responsible for putting all of this information together. It takes a lot of time, and we got hit with a lot of FOIAs the past couple of weeks. So the first one, 10D1, is dated January 1st, 2026, was submitted by Owen Wayne from Rockford Sun requesting copies of all vendor contracts over $1,000 for the current school fiscal year. And the district responded to the requester on January 16th, 2026 with the inclusive document. 10D2 was dated January 6th, 2026, was submitted by David Arveo from the Painter District, Council 9 Number 30, requesting any properties owned, maintained, or operated by Harlem School District number 122, including but not limited to schools, administrative buildings, or any other facilities owned or maintained by the school district built before January 1st, 1978. And the district responded on January 20th, 2026, with the inclusive documents, yes. The next one, 10D3, dated January 15th, 2026, was submitted by Chris Miller, requesting copies of any existing records that describe purchasing or contracting approval authority within our school district. The district responded to the requester on January 26th, 2026, with inclusive documents. 10D4 was dated January 3rd of 2026 and submitted by Sherry Reed of Smart Procure, requesting any and all purchasing records from 10/3/2025 to current, with the district responded to the requester on January 30th of 2026 with the inclusive documents. And then finally, 10D5, dated December 11, 2025, was submitted by Chad Zakaris of Divine 180, requesting access to records held by the district related to the current security system and life safety solutions, support and maintenance agreements, contracts and equipment, which would have been purchased and or installed in the past 5 years, with the district responded to the requester on February 4th, 2026, with the inclusive documents. I will have a lot more the next board meeting. But
Do we seem to still be getting AI?
What's that?
Do we get a lot of AI FOIAs still?
There's
or-
some that we think we do.
What I'm seeing is a lot of commercial FOIAs, so they're getting this info and then they're selling it.
Yeah.
Like what contracts?
Owen Wang is every meeting.
He's not commercial, but a lot of these are. Like that last one you see on there, they want to know who we work with, and then I'm sure they're selling that data. Like, it's a real big uptick in commercial FOIAs.
If there's nothing we can do to kind of automate some of these processes just to save the.
They're completely random. You know,
Yeah,
I
they're
think
random. Well-
talking to legislators about helping control the commercial FOIAs, because people are taking a lot of district resources just to turn around and make money.
Oh, yeah, no, it's-
So, it's been a huge uptick just in the last month.
And to further answer your question, Rebecca, to our board member, Carlton, is that it seems like a lot of districts in the area get the same one. It's like just.
Oh, it's just automatic.
So how many are we working
You
on?
can automate a script, you can put an email address in
How many
there
are we
and then
working on
regular.
currently then?
What we got, 7 for next one?
Possibly 8.
Probably 8.
Wow.
At one point, I had like 8 to work.
Oh, yeah, so all.
Oh, yeah.
Wow,
So what are we
okay.
doing with these commercials?
So we gotta see if legislation
getting
can
out of
fix
selling?
that or calm that down.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Can I get a motion and a second to approve the personal agenda and addendum?
Motion.
Second.
We have Board Member McKinney,
Aye.
Board Member Carlson,
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling,
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve student travel request?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Carlson,
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight,
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve resolution declaring surplus property?
I forgot behavior. 12A.
Yeah, 12A.
Oh, it's different on the paper.
It's different than that.
Yeah, I was looking at the paper, I'm like, what do you mean?
So does it, on the paper, does it say 12B? I was reading.
Yeah, we got
This is 12A. Okay.
Oh, approved.
Great, you guys Ron Burgundy me.
So which one are we making? Which one are we making official, the paper?
Yeah, we need,
We have to make one of them official.
oh, it's not, it's down here, it's just got.
It's 12C.
Yeah, this has got.
Okay.
I don't know about that.
Oh, yeah.
You still got it.
This is not, it's just.
Okay.
So we're working off the paper or digital?
Working off the
What one
paper.
was,
Alright.
what one was
Posted.
posted?
12A was.
Till they, it's this one right here.
Agenda was today.
12A was posted?
Yes.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
yeah.
So
The property.
paper, yeah.
we're good.
So paper.
So surplus property, then
Yeah.
we go to C for the
Just
district
wanna keep
people.
it simple.
You're good.
That's what I meant was
Thank you.
which one.
We're good. Can I get a motion to approve resolution declaring surplus property?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Can I get a motion and a second to accept December 2025 treasurer's report?
Motion. Second. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye.
I have one question with the district behavior plan. If we update a policy that affects us, do you have to resubmit it?
Not until the following year.
Cool. Can I get a motion and a second to approve district behavior plan?
Motion.
Second.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
No.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Aye. Can I get a motion and a second to approve an agreement with Legends Global for the rental of BMO Harris Bank Center on Saturday, May 23rd, 2026 for graduation ceremonies?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Yep.
Vice President Thompson.
Yeah.
Can I get a motion and a second to approve renewal of the auditing services contract with Sikich at a cost for FY26 at $44,250, FY27 $45,500, and FY28 $46,750.
Motion.
Second.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to approve agreement with Aya Healthcare, Inc. to provide speech and language pathologists for short-term FMLA leave at a cost of $100 per hour for 37.5 hours per week for a total cost of $48,750 paid with IDEA flow-through Part D.
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Can I get a motion to, approve a motion to approve the agreement with Sunbelt LLC to provide speech and language pathologists for short-term FMLA leave, cost of $112 per 37.5 hours per week, at a total cost of $54,600 paid with IDEA flow through Part D.
Motion.
Second.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Can I get a motion to approve the subscription of 300 FastBridge licenses and professional development for a cost of $2,355 paid with school improvement 1003A funds?
Motion.
Second.
President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye.
Can I get a motion to approve 4 days of coaching into reading coaching for a cost of $15,120 and 4 days of coaching for ready math coaching for, that's a lot of coaching, for a cost of $9,600 for a total cost of $24,722 paid with the school improvement funds 1003A funds.
Motion. Second.
Okay.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Board Member McKnight.
Yes.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Aye. Can I get a motion to approve the Wilson Just Words for program $21,861 paid with the school improvement 1003A funds?
Motion.
Second.
Board Member McKnight.
Aye.
Board Member McKinney.
Aye.
Board Member Carlson.
Yes.
Board Member Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
Aye.
Vice President Thompson.
Aye.
Announcements and discussion? Was it? Yeah, that's for announcement for the stipends?
Yeah.
You want to discuss this? Here.
All the coaches.
Mhm.
All right, so what we have here for the coaching stipends is a MOU that's been agreed upon with the union where we are, and I'm just going to read it to you. The Board of Education in the Harlem School District 122, Winnebago County, Illinois, the board and the Harlem Federation of Teachers, HFT, have agreed that when determining stipend placement for coaching positions within the Harlem School District, prior years of coaching experience will be honored when a coach moves between Harlem Middle School and Harlem High School in the same sport. Likewise, when a coach transitions from an assistant role to a head coach role with the district, All previous earned assistant coaching experience in that sport will count towards stipend placement. Additionally, if a Harlem employee takes a break from coaching but remains employed within the district, their previously accumulated coaching experience in that sport will be fully recognized upon their return to a coaching position. The above language also applies to any differential position that involves a sponsor, advisor, director, or any similar role that requires supervision. So we both, HFT and admin, we agree to this, and so it definitely helps out our employees. So, any questions on that?
So I know the wording is, but there was one spot in there, I was just gonna look at it, but I had a question about. It was about if they step down as a coach, but they're still employed by the district. I know anybody that's coached, 5 years can change a whole sport. Like, that's my only question is they're being stipend as, if they're not a head coach, the sports change, strategies change, a lot of those things change. Can we put a clock on that? Like, hey, if you're out of the sport for X amount of time, is that something? You get what I'm saying though? If anybody's ever coached, like, sports change, like new equipment, new bats,
Yeah,
But you're thinking, sorry.
No, go ahead.
You're thinking that just because they stepped down here, that they're not coaching anywhere else.
I am making that assumption.
So there are those ones, and this is how we get some of our in-house employees who are coaching else to also come back and be that, because now they don't start back at tier one, when they were here for, say, 10 years, coach somewhere else, and then they were gonna come back, but then they're already starting back at one.
Okay,
Now
point
they're
taken.
Now they're gonna get their experience. I mean, they've been coaching, they've been doing the things.
I was just thinking about the coach that has been completely out of
No, I get it,
coaching,
I get you.
and at that point in time, I mean, obviously we can't have it perfect. That was just a question. I mean, I can agree with both that. I get it. Most of the time, if coaching's in your blood, once you quit, you quit. And I mean,
No, point well taken. And for me, that's where that professional development comes into
Okay.
play too. And
Okay.
obviously too, when we're going through the hiring process of hiring a coach, you're going to have to talk through, hey, what have you been doing, and all those things to even get hired again. So,
yeah, I'm good with that. That was just a question and a thought.
No, it's one
it's good though.
I just wanted to kind of tag off of what he was saying, because I know, like, our female coaches, and not to just pull out our females, but they're the ones that have kids, maybe they step down for 5 years to have children, raise children. Are they going to come back in, like he said? Okay. Same thing.
But that's in the interview process. That's
Right.
where we have to trust the process of bringing them back as a coach, so.
And we're not concerned with any financial impact with any of this is going to do. We've kind of scoped out the differences.
You want to?
I want to let you know that when we worked on this together, this was already taking place for some and not for others.
Oh.
So this is cleaning up a problem we have of who you know and really a male-female issue. So this is making it equitable for everybody. And coaching isn't just about the sport. This doesn't just go for coaching. This goes for if you're working with, National Honor Society,
Right.
Key Club, or something like that. And what you're working on too, not just the coaching piece and the sport piece of it, but how you're working with children. And because that's what we are here for, are the children. And so if we can maintain people that we are already employing within our district, then those are the people that we've worked with that know how to work with children, hopefully. And we can maintain that piece of it too. So we want our students to be with Harlem people first, if that's an option, and then we'll go outside of that. So just a way to maintain that.
You answered my other questions.
Yep,
One
good.
was, I'm surprised it's not like that, and is it only coaches? So thank you.
I'm good
Thank
with
you.
that.
All right.
I should have called you up sooner. Thank you.
Phone a friend sometimes.
She's ready. All right, with that, can I get a motion to go into executive session to discuss, one, employment personnel 5 ILCS 120-2C1.
Motion.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's more. There's more.
Discussion of lawfully closed minutes 5 ILCS 120-2C21.
Any more?
That's it.
Okay, motion.
Second.
Oops.
You're good?
We need a roll call.
Yes, we have to vote.
Great. Vice President Thompson,
Aye.
Warden McKnight,
Aye.
Warden McKinney,
Aye.
Warden Carlson,
Yes.
Warden Johnson, aye. President Sterling.
All right.
No, that don't happen.
5 minutes.